All right, now let's solve examples. Look at example 6. We want to find the value of each expression. So this is tan minus 22.5. We know that tan is what? Tan is an odd function, so the minus can go out. So this will just be minus tan 22.5. And this we can write as 22.5 is the same thing as 45 over 2, right? And then we can use the half angle formula. So depending on which one we want to use, we can use both, or we can use any of it. So this is going to be minus, the minus is outside. What is tan alpha over 2? If you remember tan alpha over 2, we can use which one? We can use sine 45 over what? 1 plus cosine 45. Yes. Why? Because we know that tan alpha over 2, it has two formulas. It is either equals to sine alpha over 1 plus cosine alpha, which is also the same as 1 minus cosine alpha over sine of alpha. So anyone we use is fine. So here we are using which one? The first one. So this is just going to be what is sine? The minus is still outside. Sine 45 is root 2 over 2. And here you will have 1 plus what? Root 2 over 2 as well. Yeah. And then all we need to do is just to simplify. So this is root 2 over 2 over, this is going to be 2 plus root 2 all over 2, right? And then we can continue here. So what is this? 2 will cancel 2. So we just have minus 2 root 2 over 2 plus what? Plus root 2. So you can leave it this way, or you can rationalize it. Okay. Now let's try to use the second one. So this is using the first formula. So let's use the second formula also. The second formula is using this one. You can see that's what tan, let me use a different pen, tan alpha over 2 is 1 minus what? Cosine 45 over sine 45. This is 1 minus root 2 over 2 over root 2 over 2. So this is going to be 2 minus what? 2 minus root 2 over 2 divided by root 2 over 2. All right. So 2 will cancel 2. So we have 2 minus root 2 over what? Over root 2. Okay, so if you look at these two, are they really the same? So we have this and this one. Yep. So we can check if they are the same or not. But to do that, I think we'll need to rationalize. So let's rationalize this a bit. Let's rationalize this. To rationalize this, you have to multiply 2 minus root 2. 2 minus what's root 2, right? So if you do that, we will have, so this will become minus 2 root 2, right? Then plus what's? Plus 2. Yes. And now the denominator is just going to be 2 squared minus 2. So this is just going to be 2 minus 2 root 2 over what? Over 2, right? Yes. And also here, if you rationalize this one, so let's remove the box and rationalize this, which is by 2 by root 2. this is going to be 2 root 2 minus 2. Okay. So this will be 2 root 2 minus 2 all over what? All over 2. So let's check carefully. We're missing something here. Okay, yep, they are actually the same, because if you look at this here, actually you can see we factored out a minus, right? We factored out a minus, which we applied here. So here there's going to be a minus, okay? Yes, because there is a minus, because the minus is coming from here. So everything here is going to be multiplied by what? By a negative sign. Why are we multiplying by a negative sign? This negative sign is not coming from the formula. As you can see here, there is a minus out before we apply this formula here. So here also, if you want to do it, remember here, let me write it here. This is what we are looking at. We are looking at minus tan 45 over what? Over 2. So it means you need to have a minus first. Yes, before you apply the half angle formula. So in all of this, you should have a minus outside. And so at the end, there's going to be a minus. And this will mean 2 minus what? 2 root 2 over 2, which is exactly the same as this one. All right. So let's go to the next question. The next question is you have sine or cosine. So you have a combination of cosine and sine. But you can see that the cosine comes first before the sine, right? So this simply means we can write this as what? We can write this as cosine of what? 103 degrees plus, right? Because this is minus, so this is going to be plus 95, 9.5. Yes, if you expand this, you will get exactly the same here. So this is just nothing but cosine of what? 112.5, correct? And now this is nothing but cosine 2, or you can say write it as cosine 225 divided by 2, right? And then we can use the half angle formula for cosine. This is nothing but what? This is nothing but plus minus. So this is 1 plus cosine 225 over 2. But look at this now. This is what? This is alpha over 2, which is 112. 112 is in which quadrant? Is in quadrant number 2. And quadrant number 2 cosine is what? Is negative. So we have to put negative here. Right. Okay, then now we need to solve this one. So if you look at cosine 225, 225 itself is in the third quadrant. So we will have 1 minus cosine 225 minus what? 180. So here you can see we are using reference angle. So this is reference. This is in the third quadrant, right? Now, this is minus, this will be 1 minus what's cosine of this. This is going to be 45, right? Over 2. And then we're almost done. So this is just going to be root of 1 minus root 2 over 2, everything divided by 2. And this is minus, this is 2 minus what's root 2 over 2, then everything divided by 2, which is minus, this is just going to be minus 2 root 2 over 4, I think, which we can take 2 outside. So here, let me just highlight something here, very important. You see, this minus depends on what? Depends on this one, right? Because we are in the second quadrant and cosine is negative, right? So alpha over 2, or this guy is in quadrant 2, okay? Then this minus here, the why we have minus is simply because of what? It's because we are in quadrant what? Quadrant 3. And we know that cosine in quadrant 3 is negative. All right. Okay, so this is it. Now let's go to example 7. For example 7, we want to find, this already is telling us this is positive. So all we need to do is we have to first of all find coterminal, because this number is bigger than what? 360. So this is going to be cosine of what? 400 minus 360, right? Then we divide by 2. So this is just going to be 1 minus cosine of 40 divided by 2. And what is this? This is going to be just what? Sine, yes, because why is it sine? Because we have here to be negative. Since we can see that this is negative, then it's going to be that of what? It's going to be sine, because we know that sine alpha over 2 is what? Plus minus, right? 1 minus cosine alpha over what? 2. So you see this minus is what we are talking about here. All right. So now we have to what? We have to add alpha over 2, because here it's alpha, here it's alpha over 2. So definitely it means this is just going to be sine of what? 40 over 2, which is just sine 20. All right. Okay. Now for B, also, here we already know that this is 3. This is in quadrant what? This is in quadrant number 3. So in quadrant 3, sine is what? Sine is negative. So we can write this as what? 1 minus sine. And this is going to be 200 minus what? Minus 180. We're using reference in this case. This we can write as 9 times 2. So taking the square root, 1 over 3 can go out. So we just have 1 minus what? Sine of the 20 all over 2 now. right? But if you look at all the half angle formulas we have, we don't have really any that have sine in. So we have to go back to cosine. So this is 1 minus cosine of what? 70 over 2. So here, what have we used? Or you can say cosine of 90 minus 20. So here we have used the co-function identity. Okay. So this becomes 1 over 3, 1 minus cosine of what? 70 degrees divided by 2. And clearly, this is nothing but what? Since here it's minus, it means we'll be dealing with what? With sine, right? We're dealing with sine. So this is just going to be 1 over 3 sine 70 over 2, which is 1 over 3 sine of what? 35 degrees. All right. So now let's see example 8. Example 8, we have A and B as well, but it's similar. Now, example 8 says we should find the value of what? Of each expression. So what we can do here, it's simply, we can make substitutions. We can make some few substitutions here. All right, so I think let's just leave this for now. This will be in a separate video. So watch out for example 8 in a separate video. Thank you for watching.